Never arrive to a destination that you don't focus on. Think about yourself driving a car. If you have directions to get to a place that you want to go to, and you don't look at those directions, you'll probably never get there. If it tells you to turn left and you turn right, you're not going the right way. And your life's not much different. When you think about your life, if you focus on certain things, that's where your mind goes. If you don't focus on them, then your mind doesn't really go towards that. See, at the end of the day, your life goes where you want it to go. For a second, imagine yourself driving a car right now. Your eyes are what you're focusing on. You use your hand to turn the wheel, and the wheel is what actually controls the direction. If we take it and flip it into your life, your eyes are what you focus on in reality. What you're focused on, what you're trying to accomplish. Your hands are the habits that you're trying to do. What are you doing every day to go towards that direction? And the wheel is the actual direction that you're going towards. You use your hands to change the direction, because whatever direction you're looking to go, you have to do something to make it go that way. If you focus on the negatives, the bad things, the lying, the fake, the debt, whatever it might be, your life's gonna stay there and it's gonna stay in that negative headspace. But if you turn it around and you start focusing on things that you can control and things that you wanna do and things that change how you live, that's where your life's gonna head. I think of myself, for example, as somebody that didn't really care much for the gym. And for that reason, I was never in the best shape. I was never in terrible shape, but I was never in the best shape. And once I started going to the gym and thinking about it, my life changed. I became a lot healthier. I became more in shape. I became more in tune with how I felt and how I looked. And it was all because of a perspective change. I started looking at something and I started focusing my energy and time at it, and it changed the way that I turned out to be. And life is made of a bunch of these. I can't really just name a few because everybody's life is different. Depending on what you're trying to do with your life and where you're trying to go, you're going to get different results. I think about myself a couple months ago. I was with no job and worried that I wouldn't be able to get one. I started focusing and talking to people and trying to get more jobs, applying to more jobs, getting more interviews. But once I put my head in that direction where I was like, I need to start doing more interviews and start putting more effort into it, it started coming to me and my head went that way. Everything that I was doing was focused towards that. On the flip side of that, I could have said that I needed a job, but I would have focused on living my life and enjoying my last couple of months in college and then worried about it afterwards. See, the difference between those two is that the results are very different. I focused my, week, couple months into getting a job when back a couple months ago, and I got it, and then I got to enjoy the rest of my college. Versus I could have enjoyed all of college and maybe, not had that couple of weeks of where I was focused on applying. But then after I graduated, I would have been in a deeper and worse position where I wouldn't have had a job and I'd be struggling and I'd be, in a loop of not knowing what's coming next. See, the way your life turns out all really depends on how you want it to turn out. If you want to live a life of comfort and relaxation and not having any worries, you might go and take the easiest path. You might not worry as much. You might not go work out because that takes energy and takes time. You might not save because that means you can't have McDonald's that night. Whatever it is, it comes together and it builds the way that your life shapes out. The issue with life nowadays is that there's so many different things in our environment that are pushing us to a certain direction where we don't care about it, we don't think about it as much, that it makes it harder for us to focus on what we truly want. Media is full of advertisements that are trying to get you to spend money, eat unhealthy, or buy things that you can't really afford or don't even want. Where in reality, you're thinking about your life and maybe you want to travel, maybe you want to retire early, maybe you want to buy your dream home. It's hard to do these things when there's these constant buzzes and constant distractions in your mind telling you to do certain things that are coming from the media. That's why it's essential to build your environment to a place and way that you can succeed and continue to grow. Surround yourself with people that are trying to improve their lives and not trying to take you down and bring you down to their level. People that are looking for a next step, the next goal, their next mission, whatever it might be, so that you have that same energy. You don't want to be left behind because everybody else is doing so well. So what are you doing nowadays? What are you doing and seeing every single day that's pushing you in the direction that you want to be? Because if you're just letting other things influence where you're going, you're not in control of what you're trying to do. See, there could be media, there could be people, there could be environmental factors that are keeping you stuck at where you're at right now, or even worse off, making you worse than you are right now. So I ask you again, what do you see every day that changes the direction of where your life is going? Because where you look is where you'll go.